Today we'll be putting the Flagship Pro to the test. Nextool asked me to make this video, so I am biased. Almost as biased as I am towards companies that haven't paid me. But the only way to be unbiased is to put the tool to work in real life scenarios. Last night this tree broke a limb, and it's time to amputate. A perfect opportunity to test out the wood saw. The final time was 3 minutes and 41 seconds, which for less than 2 inches seemed kind of slow. I decided to test my Leatherman signal, which had previously flown through driftwood. 3 minutes and 55 seconds. I'm gonna call it even. It turns out this is a type of dogwood, and dogwood is a hard wood. That explains why it was so hard to cut, and the saw actually worked well. The only sensible thing to do next is harvest those flowers. Now let's take a look at the main blade. It's quite large. Here it is compared to the signal. The steel is 5C3 15 MOV, which is an okay steel that doesn't hold an edge for long but is easy to sharpen. Next are the 3 small tools, which are outside accessible with a strong detent. The can and bottle openers are boring, so I'll focus on the cutting hook. Let's try it on some denim. Works well on fabric. Now let's try a zip tie. Works pretty well there too. This is also where they put a 2D Phillips screwdriver. Very weird placement, but it does technically work. Now let's look at the pliers. They're spring-loaded. The teeth interlock, which is different from some of my other pliers. The tips pinch well. The wire cutters are YG8 steel, which is high in hardness and wear resistance. Let's test those out. Let's start easy with some aluminum armature wire, which is quite soft. It looks like it's not going to close any further than that. It seems to be smashing it rather than cutting it. This 1/8 wire also seems to be just too thick for it. For reference, this should be super easy. It's very soft. Let's try some harder and thinner brass. Oh, it did work. You can see the blunt cutter geometry basically pushes the wire apart. Not a very effective way to cut. This should also be an easy wire. Let's try the soft wire cutters. Well, those work. And finally, the best feature on here, those giant scissors for a multi-tool. Zip ties are no challenge. Let's try denim. They work pretty well on fabric. Definitely better than anything I carry. When you combine that with a pole cutter and this secret glass breaker, this could be a decent emergency/rescue tool. To finish this overview, the Flagship has a pocket clip and weighs 8.9 ounces, the exact same weight as the Free P4, heavier than the Signal, and lighter than the Charge TTI. It does feel pretty big in hand though. Finally, the price. Nextool has very affordable prices, especially compared to American and Swiss-made tools. If you like spring-loaded pliers, this is a pretty neat option. There are some things that hold it back, like the minimal Phillips driver and the hard wire cutter geometry. But there are things I really liked: the size of the blade, the quality of the saw, and of course those big scissors. Well, what do you guys think? What do you see this being used for? Is it worth having scissors this big? Or would you just carry them separately? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.